Hello, I'm David Postansky and welcome to another exciting exploration of an artistic mind, the enigmatic Yayoi Kusama. Now, she has set herself on a mission to expose the microcosms within herself, to take us to the infinite space, which our minds cannot even begin to imagine. Now, for many years her artwork has been forgotten, and its renewed importance has come about mainly through the contemporary artists whose explorations echo her own, finding connections between the organic and mechanical, personal and formal, between the intelligent and the physical. Now, her installations blur the lines between the spectator and the participator. Exactly whose mind is it that we are walking through? The answer isn't clear, and that's exactly what makes her work so extraordinary.
Kusama has put herself in the frame since she was a teenager, and it's incredible how many photographs do exist of her from the 1950s. You know, openings or her own shows or taking the studio. She encouraged people to record her, and she commissioned photographers to come and record her work. One of the reasons that her work is very attractive is that there's a particular type of work that Kusama makes that has her name is so closely associated with something that's almost a brand. So over many years she has employed very simple pattern making, the spot, the small circle, and in such brilliant and dynamic ways that it's almost impossible to think of spotted surfaces without thinking of Kusama. And people love that kind of brand recognition. Is a key part of people's enjoyment of work, particularly people who aren't incredibly involved in visual arts practice. So they love that kind of brand recognition has given her this great popularity.
With Kusama, we're looking at someone who spent 30 years, is still there, even as a very old woman in a mental hospital in Japan. And we know that from a very early age, she was threatened to be overwhelmed by these hallucinations which threatened to overtake her life. Now, one of the patterns with obsessive-compulsive people is that they use intense, repetitive patterning to attempt to control the sense of being out of control. And so if you look at some of the film of the recent work in the Tate exhibition, you see her obsessively copying a pattern minutely, and it runs through all her work. And this is, and you see it in all psychiatric compulsives, they have to repeat the ritual to make them feel safe. Because what is happening, as she describes in so many places, is that her work breaks out of the canvas, breaks out of the room, breaks out into the infinite. And the human individual, the little ego, can't really cope with that. So what you have to do as a human being or an artist is to try to find a way of containing it. And the obsessive repetition is a classic psychotic way of doing that. But in Kusama's case, she brings intense creativity and art into that process of repeating patterns.
When I went to see Kusama's installation, the one with the dots, everywhere, I actually felt really dizzy. People around me were stumbling, as you can't really tell the difference between the walls, the floor, the objects in the room. It felt like that room turned into an outer space. I was so shocked about how something so simple can be so visually interesting. They're just dots that glow in the dark, which make you forget where and what you are. I was so inspired by Kusama's interpretation of the world. I so wanted to give it a new life from my perspective.
Now, we all have our own unique experience of the world. What was it like for you looking at that particular shade of red? How did it appear to you? No one else can see it exactly as you did. We all have our own precise physical view of it, as well as our own associations made based on our own personal life experience. Now, sometimes a piece of artwork leaves such a strong impression on you that you feel the need to re-express it in your own way, to bring it to your own point of view. And it's because of that her work has such a strong following. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show and have now gained a greater understanding of some of her unique work. Thank you very much, and good night.